This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Alright everyone, hope you're all doing fantastic. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. You guys know the drill. If you haven't subscribed already, why do you know this drill and haven't subscribed yet? You should be ashamed of yourself. Make sure you do it. Now, Anthony Joshua has mentioned about the changes that he may or may not be making in his rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. on December 7th in Saudi Arabia. And this is what Anthony Joshua had to say. I can't go in there and do the same thing. I was 50% of the way there getting the win. I had him down in round 3 and I just got caught when I tried to finish him off. So when I said it was a punch from the gods in the Sky Sports interview, it wasn't a lucky punch for him, for instance, because he trains for that. But let's say I trained to defend the hook. It caught me in the place of the head that I couldn't recover from. The punch was perfect, so in that respect, it was sent from the gods. I can go in there and do the same thing and maybe take a bit more time. So in terms of crashing down, I haven't fallen down so far the tree that I've got to wait 2 years to have the rematch. It's happening in 3 months. I know how to fight. Look, if I was to change everything now, it would be too risky. I haven't got enough time to change and amend and make it new. I'll just add little things that will make big differences. Anthony Joshua's statement. So, okay, so first of all, regarding the rematch, he's absolutely correct. He took one loss. It was a punch that just turned the fight upside down on his head. He couldn't recover. And listen, let's all give Andy Ruiz Jr. credit for not letting him off the hook. But quite how Anthony Joshua went another 4 rounds being in that kind of condition with his legs just still wobbly and his head not with it and his punch resistance absolutely awful, all because of that one shot, or allegedly. A lot of us do believe that something happened in camp, but hey, listen, it is what it is. But ultimately, he did go 4 rounds in that kind of condition. So imagine if he wasn't in that condition. Anyway, so yes, he's going to take the rematch. And why shouldn't he take the rematch? I know a lot of people say that he should step aside and maybe work on a lot of things that he should have been working on beforehand, but didn't quite have the time because he was thrown straight into the deep end. Well, he kind of threw himself into the deep end, I suppose you could say, by becoming world champion in only his 16th professional fight. So he's still having to learn. He's just had 23 fights. He's taken a loss. And as I've always said, you guys have been saying it as well, that those who take a loss are usually the ones who fight some of the best guys around them consistently. Okay, at some point, you are going to fall short in one of your fights. Okay, you are just not going to perform. A punch will get through that you can't defend against, or you just have a bogeyman. Who knows? Maybe Andy Ruiz Jr. is Anthony Joshua's bogeyman, all right? We don't know. Let's see how the rematch goes. But as far as changing things, what's he really going to change in the next 3 months? Now, you could say, but he's had since June the 1st, and he has been training, and he knows that he was always going to take the rematch. So he's been working on some strategies ever since then. And I think that's probably fair to say. So it's a little bit longer than 3 months. So I do expect some changes, but not a lot. But as he said, you can't change too much anyway. The kind of fighter that he is the fighter that he is, okay? He can fight more smart, he can fight more patient, or he can just go a whole lot more aggressive. There's certain things he could do, but he's never going to be a on the tiptoe gliding around the ring kind of fighter. That's not him. He's not going to be the kind of guy who's bobbing and weaving, moving the head like Mike Tyson that used to do. That ain't him. Okay, his way is power punching. Now, there are some things that I noticed. Listen, I'm not a trainer, okay? I'm certainly not an expert, but I've noticed it, and I know many of you guys noticed as well, that when he fights shorter guys, he seems to struggle a bit more than what he does fighting the taller guys. And a lot of it could be due to the fact that even though he's fighting a shorter guy, he's not using his advantages, which is not only his strength, but his height and his reach. He's not using those advantages. Tyson Fury uses those advantages every single fight. Okay, he keeps them away at bay. So he can pick them off with a jab or just flick a punch or throw a right hook here and there. But ultimately, he uses his range to keep his opponent at distance. At the end of the day, if you can't land a punch, you ain't beating the guy, right? Anthony Joshua doesn't really do that. He crouches down to their level. So automatically, he's removing all advantages. And it's not a very good style for him either, because he can't get out of the way quick enough, as if he was in his normal stance. So to crouch right the way down, wide-legged, that ain't good. And I'm sure Rob McCracken would have noticed that one, certainly in the Andy Ruiz Jr. rematch. Or, sorry, first fight. and change it for the rematch. So there will be some changes. For me, I fully expect him to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. the same way that he did Joseph Parker. Again, you have to remember, Joseph Parker defeated Andy Ruiz Jr. Okay, so maybe it's going to be a very, very boring fight. But do we care? Not really, as long as he gets the win. That's all we care about. But if he takes a loss, okay, no big deal. He then goes and does the things that a lot of people are saying that he should be doing right now rather than take the rematch, which is going to fight some lesser opposition and practicing those new skills and trying new things against those kind of guys rather than having to do it in the spotlight of a heavyweight title fight all the time. But of course, if he does defeat Andy Ruiz Jr., then he's going to have to keep on trying to learn. As I said, he's only had 23 fights. This will be his 24th coming up, which is nothing in the professional game. At this kind of stage, he should only really be looking at maybe potentially, maybe I can get a world title shot soon. That's how he should be looking. But he's been champion since his 16th fight. Look at the guys he's been fighting. Just look at the WBC rankings right now. He's fought like half of them already and defeated them. Okay. But ultimately, in my opinion, and a lot of you guys' opinion as well, maybe lose a little bit of weight, which it looks like he has been, but he needs to fight a lot smarter in this fight. Recognize when your opponent is hurt, and that's when you go for the kill. But always be mindful, even when your opponent is hurt, no opponent is just going to put his hands up and just run on the back foot until he gets caught. All opponents, especially when they're hurt, I was going to try and swing wild punches, and one may land through. So you should always be smart anyway. But anyway, for me, I think that there will be some minor changes, as he said right there. He's not saying it to throw Andy Ruiz Jr. off the scent, not at all. This is what I need to do. I'm a better fighter than him anyway. On any given day, I will defeat him 9 out of 10 times. That happened to be his one time, which is what Anthony Joshua said in the past about it as well. So ultimately, we'll have to wait and see. As I said, maybe Andy Ruiz Jr. is just the boogeyman for Anthony Joshua. Either way, we don't know. Win, lose or draw, it ain't over for Anthony Joshua by a long stretch. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.